People aren't ready for it. People are not smart enough to appreciate pieces of work like this. How Ethel Cain's debut album, Preacher's Daughter, perfectly summarizes in both a satirical form and also kind of a realistic form the trauma that a religious household and that a household blinded by the doctrines of an antiquated religion, how that inhibits you from forming really intimate relations with your family members, how religion can be the wedge in between that. And how even though the Bible gives you a list of rules and a way to live your life and things that you should follow to be a godly person, it ends up driving a wedge between you and any person who doesn't agree with you. You know, and I think that that's really fucking sad. And if you choose God or your idea of God over your relationship with your family and your friends and your real life, that's really, really one of the tragedies, I think, of when you say religious trauma. That is religious trauma, you know, that it feels like people didn't choose you. They chose God over you. You know, you don't understand what it feels like to constantly feel like you are living wrong, that your existence is wrongful. Walking in sin, living in sin, like you should always have something to repent for, or you need to ask for forgiveness, or you're not doing something right, or that's fine you did that, but you know, you need to kind of course correct. And it's very natural human instincts and desires that we're having to course correct. Doesn't make fucking sense. And I have elected to no longer bring it up to my family because they know where I stand on it and I know where they stand on it. And I don't think either of us are in a mental headspace to discuss it. Because I'm not trying to learn about their opinion. I'm just not. I don't want to hear what you have to say. If it's going to be actively trying to take away another person's human rights, I don't fucking want to hear what you have to say, actually. We can just leave it at that. Religious supremacy interlocked with American individualism. Well, it doesn't affect me. But the whole idea of Christianity is to be Christ-like, to care more for your brother or your neighbor than you care for yourself. Selflessness, to walk the path of Jesus Christ. How? Logically, you can't hold those faiths. You can't hold those ideals under your faith and then vote the way you do. It's hypocritical and it's counterintuitive and it makes no fucking sense. We go from talking about Call of Duty penis to crying over God. And that's kind of going to be the summary of this podcast. Anyway, Ethel Cain. Ethel Cain, this album means a lot to me, and thank you, Ethel Cain, for making this. A story told by a girl that exists in an afterlife, reflecting on her former life after she was violently murdered and cannibalized by one of her lovers. It's a coming-of-age queer story where religious trauma inflicts the main character and results in her ultimate death. It begins with the faint noise of a preacher speaking inaudibly in the background. I just gotta chill. By the way, just gotta chill. When the drums come into the track, the song rises from the dead, unlike her character. Cain's second verse reads, Jesus can always reject his father, but he can't escape his mother's blood. Oh my God! Jesus can always reject his father, but he can't escape his mother's blood. Symbolizing the idea of generational trauma. Can we take a moment? Tell me, what have you done? Stop. Make it stop. I've had enough. Stop. I am the face of love's rage. Blessed be the daughters of Cain, bound to suffering eternal through the sins of their father. Hold on. Pause. Are you bitches hearing this? Blessed be the daughters of Cain. Perceived it as a personification of the symbolic way that men took everything from her. It was the last thing that could be taken. She was used her whole life by a lot of people. Just another way she had no control over what other people chose for her. Even her final resting place was taken and consumed by a man in her life. Oh my God. Wow.